Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Crosscurrent. Today I'm giving you a beginner's guide to a game called Revn. Now, Revn has been out for about a month and a half, and I gotta say it's a pretty interesting MOBA. Very similar to Paragon, if you played that, which now Paragon is owned by people that have made Fault and Heroes of Agora and Predecessor, so there's a lot of those out there. This game, although, is free, and they just took a bare minimum from Paragon and made more of what they wanted with the game. So to start, I'm going to bring up everything that is on the main menu, and then I'm going to bring up everything within the game. So to start, this is a home screen. You can do training and stuff like that, and they have a lot of different training options. I didn't really like the training. I felt it was a little lackluster, but it does get you to know the raw basics if you've ever played a MOBA before. Loadouts, here's something you just kind of set up before each match. You do still have about 3 minutes before the match starts to change this. Once you get into the game, you can only choose abilities from the preset list that you chose. Now, when you look at this stuff, you see some that says 400 and some that says 600. 400, that's a type of currency that you have to pay money for. I don't know if they have that implemented yet. I don't believe they do when I talk to the moderator. And the credits are earned after each match. It seems after each win you get about 100, and for each loss you get about 50. Might be more or less depending upon the length of the game as well. But there's a decent amount of options there. I don't know which ones are the best. I've heard a lot of good things about the dash ability, and just kind of experiment. It's early game. You can go crazy with it. If you want to see a guide about that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you're trying to go back anywhere, you have to go to the top right screen. It's a little bit weird. Profile isn't out yet. They're working on that. You can go to the shop and buy the appearance and also set up your appearance. This is kind of like the profile page as well, where you can change how your character looks if you have the correct currency. You can choose your abilities again, which is weird that there's so many different places where you can use that. And then there's the Founders Packs, which they have lots of different ones, ranging from $9 to a cup to about 100, and then they have one that's $1,000. You do you. The game does seem pretty good, and the developers are working very hard to make it good. But also, if you're looking to play this game, I would suggest playing it when the developers are hosting it. And the developers are hosting games Tuesday at 12 p.m. EDT and Wednesday at 7 p.m. EDT. So be sure to join their Discord. They also have complimentary builds they can use within the game to at least give you somewhat of a head start. And with their complimentary builds, I went 8-3 on my first game, and that was against developers. When it came to the settings in the game, I didn't really mess with much. I did, although, go to gameplay, turn the mouse sensitivity to 20 and the aiming sensitivity to 10 because it was extremely sensitive for me. But everything else I kept the way it was. So this game does allow you to play against AIs, but I would suggest not doing that because you don't get any rewards for it. If you play a game like you're looking for a match and at least one other person joins in, they'll show up on the other side. Even at that point, if they leave the game, you will still get credits at the end of the game because it's a normal match. But while you're here, you might as well just hang out, see what you're gonna build, and just kind of experiment a little bit. Read all the things because you're gonna be here for about 3 minutes. All right, so we've loaded into the game, and we start off with 600 currency. I believe it's called Ecor, and you can use that to buy abilities. You can use that to buy items, etc. Now, first thing I would do, I'd go over here to the weapons and choose a weapon you really want to use. You got the Scythe, which is like an SMG. You got the Renegade, the Shotgun, Spire, which is a sniper rifle, Genesis, which is an assault rifle. And with some of these, you get an option for a scope with it, some not so much. You also get a secondary weapon of a pistol, but I almost never use the pistol because the damage and aim is not as good as the primary weapon. So I would start off just getting 3 abilities if you can. For me, that's Chilling Blast. You have to drag it over though, otherwise it won't work. You can't upgrade it. When you hover over it, it tells you how much it costs at the top, and then all the other things below it. I would suggest having at least one of these items as mobility, at least one as a damage dealing effect, and then the other one just make it whatever you want. Well, let's start off. This game is a MOBA. So you see in the top left of that map, there's 3 separate lanes where minions will spawn. Minions being little AIs that, when killed, give a little bit of experience, but are mainly used to push towers. Once you destroy towers, you can destroy the bigger ones, and then you can destroy the core. When the core is destroyed, you win the game, and everything ends. Also, destroying these minions or other players will give you Ecor, or credits, or gold, or whatever you want to call it. The only other thing that I have not mentioned is these little camps right here. In this game, it's different. Unlike killing the entire camp, you have to just kill the main big guy in the back right there. You might notice it takes a little bit longer to kill these guys than it does with most minions in the game. But if you're trying to win an early game fight, I would suggest killing the wave instead of the player, because the wave will deal a lot more damage early game than you would think. Now against AIs, they're just going to focus you out completely and not give you a second chance to do anything. So you gotta be a little more careful with them, but against real players, they're going to be much more crafty. In this mode though, if an enemy does die to minions or to a tower, it will count as a character just dying instead of you getting the kill. I think it's a little bit strange, but I'm sure that they'll work on that down the road. You're going to be sure to get the last hit on the minions that you kill, because you'll get a little more experience or gold from that. And don't try to use abilities on these towers, it won't have any effect. You'll get the most effect out of just attacking it with your weapon. You can only deal damage to towers if you're inside of its range, and if it's attacking something. If it's not attacking anything, nothing's going to happen. So there are 2 other buffs that appear in the game. There's a hunter that I believe spawns right here, and there's an angel that spawns on the other side. Yep. So when you destroy the angel, your team then gets super minions. It's like those big minions you saw, but they're even stronger. If you kill this guy, the hunter, you give everyone on your team 1,000 Ecor, which is a lot of extra gold or currency. It can really turn the tide of a battle. But they're both extremely hard to kill, especially if you're doing it by yourself, so try to go in with a group to make it worthwhile. I don't believe I brought this up earlier, but when you come back into the spawn, you are going to want to press G so you can open up everything. If you want to look for something specific, you just come over to the left side and choose a filter. If you want to clear the filters, you hit clear filters. Now, if there is something you don't want, you can dismantle it, and it'll refund you whatever it says above it. Looks like it's just going to give me 100, about half of what I used to buy it. Now, one of the most used items I've seen within this game so far is the Reaper Clip, just because it has passive health gain from killing enemy minions and killing enemy characters, or revenants as I call them. So, although the rest of the stats are not phenomenal, it always helps out, especially if you're going for jungle camps or if you're just killing waves. Now, when you look at your character, the green bar is for health and the purple bar is for energy. Now, the energy is used to cast the abilities to the right, and the numbers on top of the abilities to the right show how much how much energy it will cost. It's like 12, 50, and 30. If you don't have it, you can't use it. Now, once you finish with the jungle camps, you can then capture the terminal. When you capture the terminal, that gives your team +1 Ecor per second for 2 minutes. Nothing spectacular, but might as well do it. If it helps out the whole team, why not? When you have a buff from one of the camps, it'll show right above the health bar, and it's typically for about 105 to 110 seconds. Be sure to read what the buff is, just to make sure you know what's going on. Now, also that little number and a diamond, that's how much stuff you've purchased for a character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I'm level 6 per se. But don't get too confused with that. Someone could just spend all their points, all their Ecor upgrading abilities instead of upgrading items, which means that they're much less powerful than they might be shown as right there. Alright guys, that just about does it for my guide video. If there's anything you want to see or know about, please be sure to comment below. If you like the video, like the video. If you like my content, please hit that subscribe button. And share with your friends if you think they could use it or would like to play this great game. That being said, guys, I'll see you next time.